Hello and welcome to another session of Karen's Colours. I'm Dr. Karen and these are my colour conversations. The time has come for another monthly reading for all of you according to your birthday month. And this month I'm going to be working with the Healing Energy Oracle. This one is an oracle created by Duguay. He's an author and artist from Uruguay, I believe. Very interesting cards. But firstly, I'd like to welcome back those of you who have been following this series of videos. I certainly hope that you've learned a lot about how colour can influence your life and also how it has the ability to create all sorts of guidance as to how you can react and respond to the various issues that you are faced with throughout each month. I'm coming to you today from a very cold and chilly Australia. And so if I have to stop every now and then just to warm up, please excuse that. If you're new to this channel, you're very, very welcome to stay and learn something that you perhaps have not been exposed to before. I certainly hope that it is something that you will find of interest and maybe even come back. And if you are really interested, just hit that subscribe button. It doesn't hurt to have more people than my 35 subscribers hanging around. All right, so let's begin. Let's now choose an oracle card to accompany the reading for people born in the month of June for their August 2025 colour reading. Oh, the cold is getting to me. Butterfingers is what we call it. Oops. Take that card and pop it under there. And now I need some colour cards for people born in the month of June to examine how their August 2025 is likely to unfold. And we begin with cyan on yellow. We move to grey on cyan, red on green, and the underlying energy is pink on black. There's only one colour that's repeated here, and that is cyan. It appears as the action energy in the past, and it also appears as the underlying energy or the motivation energy within the present. When you have the same colour appearing more than once in a reading, it means that we need to pay particular attention to what that colour is about. So let's examine firstly the underlying energy. Here we have pink on black. Now, black is all about the need or drive to get away, to go into hiding, if you like. It's to remove yourself from whatever the situation is that you're in, and in doing so, to give yourself the time out and the space to recuperate, to examine your inner self a little more closely, and definitely to get in touch with your inner self. In the real world, when we have pink, we have a vulnerability. We have a need for love. Something here about this combination suggests that there has been disappointment, a lack of the sort of love that was desired, even though it has been given out to others. So the black internally means that what you're getting back is not what you're putting out. And either the love that was given to you has actually hurt and so therefore caused you to withdraw, or the withdrawal has caused love to be something that you've either had to give out or that you are drawing towards yourself. When you get this sort of combination, because pink is also vulnerability, so it's a reduction in your life force, it means that you're probably coming out of some form of, if not illness, then a reduction in your ability to feel healthy and wealthy and wise. In the past, you've had a great deal of fear and trepidation, but also a need to become joyful. When yellow appears as an underlying energy, as the driver within a combination, it generally has to do with feeling overwhelmed with information, and that means fearfulness. There are things that you have learned, there are things that you've experienced that have caused you to want to understand them better, to be able to deal with those issues better, and that in the real world has caused you to go looking for that information, to go looking for the understanding that accompanies the gathering of information, because without understanding the information, you're not really going to get anywhere. But the cyan and yellow together create a form of green. And green is always the need to get away from something. So the underlying energy here, one of the need for time out, and here the need to overcome or get away from fear, produces a darkened form of the yellow, which means that you are indeed finding that what you are learning, what you are experiencing in the past has been something that has caused a great deal of rigidity in the way that you think about new information that comes in. There is a lack of flexibility that happens here in your learning experiences. In the real world, the pink and the cyan together are both colors of an enlightened activity. Pink is enlightened action. That is, I've run out of energy, but I know how to get other people to help me. Cyan is enlightened organization. I've run out of the wherewithal to do the work myself, but whatever the situation is at the moment, I'm happy to sit in it. I'm quite comfortable. There is a state of blissfulness that is accompanied here. Now, bliss and anxiety are not exactly compatible. And so, therefore, we have this drive towards making changes in terms of heading in a different direction. That's where the green energy comes from that is hidden within the combination here. In the present, that same cyan exists again, but this time it's an underlying energy. It doesn't appear as an action, it appears as a need, a drive, a motivator. And as a motivator, that cyan is a need for peace and harmony and just simply being able to relax and enjoy life. In the real world, the way in which you do that is to deal with whatever comes along whenever it comes along. Uncertainty is the major issue that comes with grey in the real world. Confusion. You need peace and quiet. What you get is confusion, but it's also distraction. So that peace and quiet comes as a result of you distracting yourself, or the distraction creates a sense of peace and quiet. And so the two of them become a cyclical energy that enables you to ignore the reality that was impinging upon you back here. Now, when we look at what the underlying energy has to say here, when we add the black to the cyan, we're actually deepening the cyan down. We're darkening it. So it becomes closer to blue. So there is a more of a drive towards just stability, organization, making sure that everything is in its place and we don't shift anything around. So it's creating an environment of total quietness, absolute harmony. The grey and pink, on the other hand, also darkens down the pink a little bit. But when pink is darkened down, it becomes more energized. It shows up as a greater amount of red. So here, the keeping things stable and serene in the internal world as a driver has created in the external world the ability to be a little bit more activated. You're actually finding yourself by the middle of the month, or in the here and now, if you like, if that's what's happening already, the fact that you are feeling more energized, more able to get out and do things for yourself. You don't require somebody else's assistance as much because you're prepared to have a go at things yourself. Coming up in the future for you is red over green. Now, green as an internal driver was what was hidden back here. But as a driver in its own right, it means there is an urge towards finding some new values, some new environment, taking chances, just simply finding a different way of doing things. In the real world, you have become energized as a result of that. So in effect, you're taking some of this past energy from the cyan and yellow here, combining it into a motivator. And here you're taking the action energy of the gray and the red, and it becomes the activator. Now, red on green works as a tarot reading for the Ace of Wands. Here we have a drive towards newness, towards change, towards something different, towards a new growth, new activities, new way of thinking, new way of being. And in the real world, we have the energy, all the energy that's necessary in order to create that. Interestingly, when we take red and green and mix them together, we end up with brown. And brown is the ultimate color of motivation. It's the color that is associated with getting things done, being permanent, creating the sort of stability and reliability that is available only when you have action and good values added together. It's the type of energy that enables ambitions to be achieved. Now, the underlying energy here, when we add the black to the green, we darken the green down. And that makes this need or this drive towards newness, towards something different, or a change of values, a change of heart, to become absolute. Whatever it is that happened back here, where this green was hidden, now becomes an absolute permanent stability. You have changed your values, you've changed yourself. And in the real world, the pink and the red together is a rather interesting combination, because pink and red generally has to do with creativity. It's got to do with babies. It's got to do with pregnancies. So have you got some sort of a new project that begins either with or without your active intervention? But certainly it now changes the entire way in which you view the world, and that is a permanent change. Let's have a look at what the missing colours have to add to this. You have black, but there is no white. You have red, you have yellow, you have green. There's no blue, there's no brown, there's no orange, no purple, but you do have pink, and you have cyan. So here we have, am I missing a colour? Hang on, grey. Yes, grey appears as well. So these colors here represent the skills and attributes that you are currently able to use during the month of August, and they will serve you quite well from the look of things. What is missing here are these colors, these skills that you're currently not using, and will help you with this dilemma that you have here of this permanent change of value associated with a form of pregnancy. White is dealing with the unknown, but it's also enlightenment. Blue is dealing with organization and with the certainty of everything in its place. So it's care, it's nurture, it's looking after the things that exist in the real world. Orange is all about dealing with drama in terms of overcoming the types of threats towards life. So it's survival, it's confidence, it's courage. Purple is dealing with changes that come from outside yourself, but also it has to do with spiritual growth as well. And brown, while hidden within the combination here, doesn't exist in the color in its own right. And as I said, it has to do with goals, ambitions, practical skills, permanence, and stability within life. So of those 5 colors, if you choose the one that's most appealing and the one that's least appealing and add them to this repertoire here, it will act on this underlying energy and send you somewhere else that will take the energy of the Ace of Wands and move it somewhere more akin to what it is that you are desiring or trying to set up in the here and now. That stability and harmony that comes from dealing with all sorts of uncertainties in a manner that allows you to remain stable. Let's now have a look at what the Oracle has to say on the topic. And what we have here is goodness. You overcome your imperfections, polish your character, and feed on the positive. You free yourself, allowing your goodness to manifest and become a source of joy. Through gentleness, you can offer unconditional support, understanding and love to yourself and to others. Overcoming imperfections is what this grey is about. Feeding on the positive is what the yellow and pink are about. Freeing yourself is green, and allowing your goodness to manifest and become a source of joy again is yellow and pink. And through gentleness, which is cyan, you can offer yourself unconditional support, which is the brown inherent within the red and green, understanding, which is inherent within the cyan, and love, which is pink, to yourself and to others. Well, it's not a bad summary. Well, it seems like August is going to be a very interesting month, don't you think? I hope you've received something out of it, out of these readings that have been of benefit to you. And I hope you'll be back for the next one in September. In the meantime, please do consider using some of the colours that are missing and enter them into your life, because when you do, you find things do move in a different direction to the ones that are normally signed off as being inevitable in the readings. Remember, it's all about your choices. I certainly hope to see you again, and may your life be filled with lots of colour. And until next time, may the colours that you do bring into your life bring you the sorts of things that you desire and deserve.